Hello and welcome to the latest episode of How I Failed in Business, the podcast that is designed to remind everyone that mistakes happen, failures occur, and it's all alright as long as we pick ourselves up and keep going. I'm one of your hosts, Rob Spence, and as always, I'm joined by...
your other host, Sophia Grace.
And today we are joined by a Leicester legend, a Leicestershire legend, that is Jack Ferguson of Bistro Live Leicester, the general manager of Bistro Live Leicester.
That's me.
Thanks for joining us, Jack.
Anytime.
How are you?
Thanks for having me. No, all good.
Good.
All good, yeah.
You messaged me yesterday saying that your head might be a bit sore today. You had a staff night out.
Yeah, we had a bit of a games night last night.
Right.
So my head's fine.
So it was a bit of a lock-in.
Yeah. And then, so we had probably about a dozen people there. The first 10 to arrive weren't drinking. So there was me with a pint and a spice rum and coke.
Yeah.
Everyone else with their water.
At the same time?
Lemonade. Yeah.
Just a straw in
I
each.
doubled down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, good start.
Yeah.
I've got a confession to make. Okay. And this is a bit of a bombshell for the podcast. Okay. I feel awful for it, but I kind of don't either. So I'm quite a sentimental kind of guy. So I like keeping things that I can treasure, that I can look back and go, oh, I love that. And
I
everything.
think I know what you've got.
And one of our first work nights out, we were at Bistro Live Leicester. Great night out, by the way. Really great party atmosphere. And please, we'll obviously go on and talk about what you guys do in a second. But really great night out. And one of my colleagues went up to play a game. And if memory serves me correct, there was a bunch of ping pong balls. And they go in a box. And there's some humping or gyrating or twerking that has to be done to get the ping pong balls out of the box. Now, I thought it'd be cute to take one of those ping pong balls home. Because I thought, what a cute little memory. It'll be sweet. It'll be lovely. You know, it'll be funny. And so one landed near me. The twerking was ferocious, like absolutely ferocious. She was going for it. And I pocketed it, which look, if you want it back, I can give it you back. But what made me feel really bad was that one of the team members from Bistro Live was looking for this ping pong ball for what seemed like 20 minutes. And like, I don't know if you count them in and count them out.
No,
I don't know.
no, not really.
But she was looking around everywhere. She's like, have you seen a ping pong ball? I was like, oh, no, not seen one anywhere.
How can I look for it?
Yeah. It was that. Did you know about this? Did I
No.
tell you?
No.
Oh, that's all right.
So I thought you were going to say a flag. Because everyone steals the flags.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are they the drinks ordering
Yes.
flags?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
you got that one last time, didn't you?
You just had to dob someone else in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Had to. So I apologise for that. But the ping pong ball, to be honest, I don't know where it is anymore. But it's there for the sentimental sake. But
Nice.
we had another good night out at Bistro Live recently.
We did, yeah, just
as
a couple
well.
of months ago.
Yeah, we need to do another night out, I think. But,
Yeah, I need to embarrass you again.
yeah. Well, look, tell us.
That was Connor's doing, to be fair. That was Connor's doing.
I loved it. I loved it all the
was good
same.
fun.
Tell us about Bistro Live Leicester. What do you guys do differently? Why should people party with you? And what do you do to embarrass people?
Well, that one's easy. So we are a live entertainment venue. We've been around since 2001, and I've been there since 2007. And I employed someone the other day that was born after I started, which
Oh, no.
made me feel a bit uneasy.
It
It
happens.
wasn't great. And in fact, I think she wasn't even conceived when I started there.
Oh,
Because we're a restaurant, so we employ from 16 plus.
Okay.
So yeah, that made me feel a bit weird. But no, we host parties for pretty much any occasion. And the idea is that you get everything under one roof. So you get your meal, you get your kind of club and nightclub atmosphere, all in the same place. And I think the idea when they opened it, 23 years ago, was that it was like a safe night out, especially for women. So obviously we spoke earlier about the kind of demographic, and it's a certain age of women, but it's like 25 to 50-year-old women is probably what we target, just with like the type of music that we play and stuff like that. So yeah, it was designed so that you didn't have to kind of traipse around town, and that you've just got everything in one kind of safe venue. So.
Which is great. It's very unique because you worked in
Yeah.
hospitality,
Yeah.
hospitality, didn't you?
I did for many, many years, yeah.
It's completely different. And like I say, you can just literally stay there
Yeah.
all night. You get
Yeah,
fed,
exactly.
you get wined, you get dined, everything all under
You're lucky. Yeah.
under all under one roof. So
Yeah.
what's your journey been then like? Because, you know, obviously you, as you just mentioned there, you're getting on a bit now and you've been there, you've been there for a while. So what was your journey with Bistro Live?
So it was quite funny. So I went to sixth form after GCSEs, and it was just the easy option for me. It was either kind of you got to get towards the end of school, and it was like, you can tick this box and you can go to sixth form, or you can do all these college open days and look at what you want to do. And I went, I'll tick this box and I'll go to sixth form, which ultimately just didn't work out for me. So I left after the first year. Managed to pass one of my subjects, which No idea how, because I didn't do any of my coursework. I didn't revise for any of my exams. So
Which
I was a bit
subject was
baffled.
that? Sorry.
That was, what did I get? I got 2 U's and an E. And the E was a pass, I think, in applied science.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
I did maths, PE, and applied science.
Right.
Maths was horrendous. Like
Yeah.
the jump from GCSE to A-levels, horrendous. And I wanted to be, so when I was kind of, 13, 14, I wanted to be a maths teacher. But again, realised the amount of work that went into it. So I thought I'll be a PE teacher instead, because there's less kind of marking of papers and stuff like that. And then that just didn't work out. So I went on the job hunt and just literally walked around town, like wallet full of CVs, and was just handing them everywhere.
Okay.
And I got a phone call one day, just saying, do you want to come in for a job interview? And I was like, yeah, cool. No idea what it was. Couldn't find the door to Bistro Live. Didn't even know where I was going. And then even when I turned up and they put the application form in front of me and it said name and job you've applied for, I had to ask them. Like, I didn't know what I was applying for, but it turned out to be a party host at Bistro Live. So that was November 2007. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I absolutely loved it. It was kind of coming in at a time just before Christmas as well, so the hours were really good. Back then it was weekly pay as well. So it was like every Friday, I get 50 quid in my account, and I'm like, wicked. And by the Monday, that's gone. So yeah, I did that part-time. Started working in the sales office. So I spoke to a woman called Teresa, who was the sales manager at the time. And I literally rang her from like the restaurant downstairs, and I was like, oh, have you got any jobs going? She was like, yeah, come and see me. So I started doing like telesales part-time. And again, that kind of snowballed as well. So I did like literally like 3 hours a day, just like 4 till 7, just doing telesales. And then grew into that job and kind of worked my way up to be office supervisor. And then that was probably about 7 years, I think. So I'd have been 23, 24. And looking at kind of my career progression, which is something that I've always kind of aspired, is just to progress as far as I can. And I didn't really see that next step. The next step was ultimately Teresa. And I didn't see her. I think she was director by that point, and I didn't really see her leaving. So I left and worked for a sportswear design company, which was really cool. Really loved it. I love my sport. And we used to kind of manufacture and sell sportswear. And then got a bit sick of that, to be honest. I think I missed Bistro Live quite a bit. So I went back to an operational role. So I did, I was front of house supervisor for a couple of years, moved to Milton Keynes to be assistant manager. And then I got the, well, I think the full story is that I got into a relationship. And
I like how you put, I think. Was it a relationship?
No, it was. No, that part's true.
Oh, okay. Right, sorry.
At the time, I was really in denial of why I was leaving the second time.
Okay.
And I'd kind of made it out to be that, again, I didn't see that progression. But looking back on it now, it was definitely forced upon me by her.
Right.
I hope you're not watching. But yeah, so she obviously worked 9 to 5. I worked Friday, Saturday nights. So Sundays was the only other day we got together. And even then, working till 2 a.m. and getting back at whatever time, my Sundays are done. Like I wake up really late and stuff. So it did strain at the beginning. And so I'd made the decision to leave. And then, and then we were together for quite a few years, 4, 5, maybe 6 years. And then when that relationship ended, I also then pretty much the same day handed my notice in at the place I was working, because I was moving back to Leicester anyway. And then I text Fred, who's one of the directors of Bistro Live, because it always used to be, there's a phrase which is no one ever leaves. So like at Christmas time, we will text all the ex-staff and be like, right, what are you doing? When are you helping? So I'd text Fred. No, Fred had text me. And he said, oh, do you fancy helping out this Christmas? And I was like, yeah, I do. I was like, have you got any jobs going? Because I've just ended my relationship. I've quit my job. I have to move out my house. And he was like, yeah, let's talk. So I went back. This was 2.5, nearly 3 years ago now. Moved back to Leicester. But I was working at Milton Keynes again. And it was quite funny because when I was there the first time, I was assistant manager. We had a supervisor called Rob, who was then the general manager when I went back. So it went from me managing him to then I went back as assistant manager. Yeah. So he was then managing me, but we get on really well. So that was really fun. And I was there for a few months, and then they made me manager at Leicester. So that's my full convoluted journey.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a really nice journey. And I think like what you guys do, in my opinion, really well, I'm not here to blow smoke, is you treat, you treat, you know, whether we call it a restaurant or the venue, like a business. And what I mean by that is, you know, I used to work with a lot of restaurants. I used to sell fine food ingredients, and a lot of restaurants they'll do a lot of marketing and they'll do a lot of PR work, and they sit there and they wait. And you mentioned you did telesales for Bistro Live. So what were you doing there then?
That was mainly like lists of birthdays. So you literally
Mm-hmm.
have a list of, it's all people that have been before, and you just have a list of when their birthday is. It's normally about a month or two ahead, and you just go, do you want to come to Bistro Live? We've got some really good deals on.
And was that successful?
Yeah, the telesales is generally pretty successful because they've been before. So it's not necessarily cold calling. We do a little bit of kind of cold calling at Christmas time, and we'll get lists of companies and stuff like that. But no, all the telesales that we do is all people that have been before. So it's quite nice because they pick up the phone to an unknown number and they're kind of like, hello. And then you say where you're from and they're like, oh, hi. Yeah. So it's actually quite a nice call to do.
But it's quite nice because, like I say, many restaurants would just go, well, we'll wait for the bookings to come to us. Why are we not getting bookings? They'll then go for the basics of marketing, which is offer discounts. They'll reduce their prices. They'll whinge at their PR and marketing firm going, can you put another email newsletter out? But you guys like pick up the phone and really hammer it.
Yeah. No, we do, everything we do is in-house as well. So all our sales, all our marketing is done in-house. And it's very much, it feels very much like a family-run business, especially because at Leicester we've got the two directors that work at Leicester. Their office is kind of 50 feet away from mine, and very much like an open door, like if you need anything, come and give us a shout. So it's really nice. Really nice. And I think that's part of the reason why people don't like that phrase of people never leave, because it is genuinely really enjoyable. Obviously it was my first job, and it's really nice when I interview and people ask questions about kind of when did you start and what was your journey, and it was like, well, 17 years ago I was where you were, like sitting here probably not really knowing what job I've applied for. So it's really nice, to kind of see then those people build within the job, especially when it's their first job and they're kind of 16, 17 in college and really nervous, and it's just so nice to see them grow. Yeah, I
like that. With you working in hospitality, like, and I mentioned this in a text to you yesterday, I think, like, how do you both, how did you both like manage those hospitality hours? Was that
drinking?
Gosh, it's really tough. You drink so much alcohol because it's just there. It's just there. But yeah, because I did sort of behind a bar in a pub, cocktail bar, and then sort of the managerial event side of bars, and I really struggled, exactly like you did, to maintain a normal relationship. My partner now, when we first started dating again, he had just come back from travelling, so he was like jobless essentially, and it was perfect then because you have whole days when you're free when you do bar work, and he was free all the time, so it was perfect. But then he got sort of a big boy job and he was 9 to 5, and I was like, oh, I only work weekends.
95.
Like some old.
Close to death, getting the money.
Check that will out.
And then I managed to get the sort of back of house manager job, and that's the only thing that saved it, because you become so close with this group of people because they're essentially really the main group of people you're able to see. So I think having an amazing team is perhaps never more important. You have to be pulling together, because the thing only runs like a machine, which is so incredibly fast paced, if you're all on the same page. And I think part of that is fostered with what you do outside of work. And we were so social, and I really loved that environment. Yeah.
And I've been on the other side, so, like I used to sell to the hospitality industry so you could see it. I went out with a girl once who worked in hospitality, and I was the one that was working the 9 to 5. And it was so tough because we hardly saw each other. So I'd get home 6 o'clock at night, and obviously she'd be in the middle of her shift, and she probably wouldn't come home until 10, 11, 12. It depends once again, like you say, if they've been out. It's quite funny actually, and then we'll play our first game if that's all okay. She actually cheated on me with a Portuguese waiter, which I can laugh about now, but it was made even funnier because to try and like rectify things and to try and like make amends, she took me to Nando's. And I remember like pulling up, I was like, you do know that this is a Portuguese restaurant.
Salt
like,
in the wound.
How is this going to make me feel better? But lovely lady, bit twisted. But are you ready to play our first game?
Absolutely.
So cue the music, Molly. Say again?
Are you serious?
You say which one? So we're playing Fail or Fiction, Molly. So top left. Yeah, thank you very much.
In all fairness, she didn't know what order the games were in.
Well, yeah. I mean, as I said earlier, we're very professional. We know exactly. We're a finely tuned machine, and it's not like we've done 54 episodes or 55 episodes or whatever. But look, you know, it's been great hearing about your story, and I've no doubt throughout all of that, things have gone a bit pear-shaped, gone a bit wrong, and they're the things that our audience love the most. So we'd like to play Fail or Fiction with you. So with ample notice, I asked you to think of 2 stories that are true, where you failed, you made a dilemma, you did something silly, and I wanted you to think of one story that's completely made up. Have you prepared those?
Yes.
In the hours worth of preparation?
I wrote them on my phone, but I do remember them.
Oh,
so
fantastic. So we'll give the floor to you. Share with us your stories.
Let's go in like reverse time order. So this first one was not too long ago. It was start of August.
Okay.
And it was middle of an operational shift. So I think we'd just got on to desserts. And I was in the DJ box. So the DJ normally arrives about 9:30 and gets ready to start about 10. So it's up to us to control the atmosphere and the temperature and the music and the lights and all that kind of stuff up to then. So I was getting some stuff ready, and I think I was loading some songs up and doing stuff with the lights, and I pressed the wrong button and tripped all of the power to the whole venue.
Including the kitchen.
It just went boom. So luckily we were serving desserts, so we didn't have any issues with cooking or anything.
Right.
But I literally stood there for what felt like about 5 minutes, but just looking out onto the restaurant floor. And there was a bit of light because our emergency lights came on, and I was like, cool, at least they work. Like, that's good. But yeah, it was interesting. So the music went off, the lights all went off, and it took probably about 45 minutes for us to fix it.
And the whole party atmosphere would have gone.
Yeah, so we lost quite a few tables because of it. We had some, because we didn't know how to fix it. So I kind of made a couple of speeches on stage and just said, like, right, guys, like, the power's gone off. I obviously didn't say that I'd done it, but the power's gone off. We're trying to fix it. And by the time we did, we probably had about 2 or 3 parties left. And they had a wicked time. But yeah.
Okay, so that's story number 1.
Story number 2 was probably about halfway through working at Bistro Live. So at this point, this was my first return. So I was supervisor at Leicester. Really good friends with the general manager who was there, Adam, still really good friends with him now. And we mentioned about how we cope at work, and drinking is a big part of it. So we had a habit of staying behind and having a drink or 2 after shift. And one time we shared a number of bottles of wine, somewhere between 4 and 6 between the 2 of us. And when we were locking up, or when we were kind of getting ready to go, we had a live band. So live band at Christmas, they play Friday, Saturday, so they'll come and set up on the Friday, leave their kit on stage and come back on the Saturday. So this particular band had a keyboarder, and he put like a tablecloth or something over his keyboard just to keep it nice and neat. So as I'd gone onto the stage to turn some lights off, I'd leant on, in my drunken state, what I thought was a table or whatever, and just heard this big crash. But it was under a tablecloth, so I just kind of, I knew what it was, but I just thought, oh, it's fallen off, I'll put it back on its pod thing. And then the next day they came in sound check, and 2 of the keys had broken. He was fuming. So I'm there doing setup on the Saturday, and I'm putting cutlery out, and they're all trying to kind of sound check on stage, and about halfway through a song, he'll go to play a note on his keyboard and not be able to. And he's like, fuck's sake! Like, so the story goes that the night before, there was a guy, a customer, who'd kind of jumped onto one of their speakers, and it fell over. And it fell onto the stage. So he thought that it had hit then his keyboard, and he just hadn't noticed throughout the night, the rest of his set. So I thought, wicked, I've got away with it. And I was chatting to Adam, and I was saying, look, like, he's fuming. Like, he's literally frothing. Like, how do I rectify this? And he was like, no, if he thinks it's this guy, just leave it. And I was like, okay, cool. But I'm there, like, literally setting up, and all I can hear is him just going mental. So I did, in the end, own up to him, and he was so nice. He was just like, he just wanted to know what happened. I think part of his anger was that he just didn't know what had happened, how it had happened. And I confessed to him, and I said, look, I'm really sorry. Like, I didn't realise I'd broken it, because it was under the tablecloth, blah, 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 blah. And he dedicated a song to me later that night, which was quite cute. Yeah, so that was fun.
We've got that one. Then what's story number 3?
Story number 3 was when I first started in the office. So I was 17, quite young, quite nervous. Obviously, it was my first kind of proper job in that sense. So didn't really know what I was doing. And I it's back in the days of fax machines. Like, that's how long ago it was. That's how much I'm getting on as well. So back in the days of fax machines, and I had no idea how to send a fax. So obviously it's a fax machine. It's got a little phone on the side.
Yeah.
And my manager at the time told me that you put the paper in, you put the number in, and then you pick the phone up and you say, send fax. So I put the paper in, I put the number in the thing, and I picked up the phone and I went, send fax. That's obviously not how you do it. So yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. That was pretty bad.
So we've got 3 stories. We've got the power going out.
Yep.
We've got the story of the keyboard and the fax machine.
Yes.
What are we thinking?
I think this might be the most stumped I've been.
I think what stumped us is because Jack told them all very passionately.
Yeah, you're a good storyteller.
Very
I think
descriptively.
That's the problem.
Normally you can tell because someone's like really descriptive, and then I block the toilet. And then you're like, oh, I don't know.
Or they've got a bag on their head and you can't read anything.
Oh, so Steph in our previous episode, he wore a bag
Excellent.
on his head because he was worried that
couldn't do it straight face.
he was worried that his face would give it away.
Brilliant.
But it just distracted
clever.
us more than anything. So I've got my initial thoughts. Molly, what are you thinking?
I'm leaning towards the fax one, being not real.
The made up one?
Yeah.
Okay, why is
Should
that?
we?
Do you know what a fax machine is?
I do actually know what it is.
Big
because
Molly.
I think it was the least descriptive, and the other two seemed more likely to have happened.
Yeah. Have you ever sent a fax?
No, I haven't.
No. How do you
Come
think
on.
you would send a fax? I was talking to someone the other day, and I can't remember what it was, but on their email signature, they still had their fax machine number, like on their email signature.
Some websites, like you see, they still have fax.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think we should get a How I Phone in Business fax machine?
No.
And people could fax in their messages to
That
us.
would be good.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
It's
It would
probably
look a
about
bit
time
wonky.
that they're now like retro.
Yeah. Oh,
and maybe,
yeah.
like, in.
They're like
Bit like
collectorite.
video players.
You can get a
and-
pager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
I was talking about pages the other day, actually. My, gosh, Isaac's halfway up a mountain.
Are you
he can't-
paging Isaac?
No, but he can't text. So I was like, oh, wouldn't it be good if there was like a way that you could send like a flare and I could know that you're not dead?
So I've never really understood what a pager is and what the difference between
They
a pager
still
and
use
like a
them
phone
in hospitals,
Yeah,
don't they?
and I don't really understand why.
It must be the
Like,
tech.
It's just because I think they physically then beep, don't they, on you? On
As
your
opposed to a
person.
phone that never
But you're
beeps.
not using, it's by satellite, isn't it? So
Oh,
it's like
okay.
an old school telephone. You don't
Right.
need, so even if everything's gone out, you're still able to
You can still
communicate.
page.
Right.
Okay.
And I think they have like direct lines to each other and stuff.
Okay. What do you think's which of those do you think is the true story? Or a true
One of
story?
the true stories. So we had the power going completely out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. As someone who, again, has had a, experience working in this environment, shit goes wrong all the time. All the fucking time. Where you're like, I don't even know how to do that, and somehow I've broken it. Are you kidding me? I remember at the cocktail bar I used to work at,
I love the fact that you're not name dropping them because they're competition.
I think they've gone
them.
bust now, haven't they? They're not there anymore.
No, they are.
The other one that they had
Yeah.
in the local area has closed.
Oh, I
They
thought
have they have like a secondary
A sec-
type of venue, and I think most of them have
Oh,
closed.
okay.
Yeah.
They've
Right,
also
okay.
closed a few of the others.
They,
Right, okay.
Yeah, and they
Yep.
were a very top-heavy business. I think they've restructured.
Right, fair enough. Okay.
But yeah, anyway, we had a period in the evening, which I assume you have, sounds like something similar, where we would switch from kind of our music that just plays throughout the day to switching over to the DJ booth. They would then control the music, and we from our side behind the bar would have to make that switch. And it was so hard. This fucking dial, you had to turn 2 at a time to switch it over, to not make it just go and like one music goes silent and then the next music starts really loud. And I remember that being the bane of my life. And there are always just so many panels of things, and I can fully see how perhaps you could hit the wrong thing. The only thing that's getting me is how do you then not switch it back on for 45 minutes?
Yeah, but I think like you said, well, it's an old building anyway, isn't it? If we know the venue
Lovely
quite
building.
well,
It's
it's a gorgeous
the
building.
First, or Leicester's only, or Leicester's first drive-through bank.
What? What?
Wow.
So you used to be able to drive up to a window
Yeah.
and do what you need to do. It was Midlands Bank.
I never knew that.
Yeah. I got told that. Now, I'm not sure if I'm getting...
We're going to have to do some
Wow.
research
Yeah,
into
I
that.
think so.
But it's a beautiful building where you're situated. But it is a very
It's
old
old,
building.
yeah.
It's quite an old building. And my thoughts are, I think that this is the true story. Because I think if it's an old building anyway, naturally the electrics aren't going to be so good. Any electrics that happen is going to be like added on. The venue, from my understanding, has been there 23 years.
The venue itself,
Yeah. So once again, back in those days, it would have been turntables and decks. Do you know what I mean? And fax machines, right? So to then add on modern day technology, I think it'd be so easy to click a button, you blow a fuse. I don't know. I'm not an electrician. I thought it would have been a bit weird for all of the electrics to go, but
he
it's
said the
doable.
backup lights did come on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to say that one
saying
is one of the
true?
true stories.
Are you happy with that, Molly?
Yep.
So, Jack, is you turning off all the lights and all the sound and everything one of the true stories?
No.
What?
Now, I will confess, bearing in mind you gave me an hour to prep, it is based on a true story. So that's why there was a bit of detail behind it. So no, genuinely, this was, the date's like stuck in my head, August the 3rd, literally a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Power cut.
Oh,
So there
it was the day when, power went out everywhere, didn't it?
So
All across Leicester.
Funnily, I thought I'd done it, which is what made me think of the story. So I was in the DJ box at the time it happened. Literally, thought so. My knee had hit something, but it was so weird because it was at the exact time that the power went out, and all I've hit is a
Unless you
couple
That's
of
so
turned off
funny
all
because
the
I was
power in
going to
Leicester.
say,
Yeah.
do you remember that day when there was that power cut all across Leicester?
I did say it was recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, I genuinely did stand in the DJ box and just look out into the room and just froze. I was like, what do I do?
How long
'Cause
was it until you realised kind of?
So it was weird. So it was like our power had gone and almost everything behind us towards the city centre. So I'd walked out the front door thinking, I wonder if anyone else's power was gone.
But you saw a bus go by with its lights on, you knew it was all right.
No, the pub next door had power.
Oh.
Pub next door, the hotel across from us, the Encore, they had power.
Yeah.
So that made me think, fuck, what have I done? Or like, how do we fix this? And like you said, it's a really old building. So like the fuses are all in weird places and the main power breakers in it, like down in the basement and stuff. So me and Matt, the head chef, went to have a look at it. And then I was on the phone to my directors and I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, help. Because you mentioned before about like, there's always something that goes wrong that you've never had to experience before. Never had to experience that before. I had people literally complaining. And I was like, what do you want me to do? So this was after I'd realised. So I'd gone out back to speak to Fred. And there's a strip club behind us. And he'd lost his power. And then
There's no point
it's-
staying open if that's your business.
It's I mean, it's a back alley strip club.
Okay. Yeah. Because I've never seen one. I didn't know there was such a thing, but I didn't know there was one near you.
Yeah,
I'll bear
no.
that in mind.
He's had to explain the concept to me because I've never been.
Yeah.
In,
Wallpaper stripping.
Yeah,
What do
weird.
you
Yeah,
do?
So no, yeah, it did happen, just not in the way I told it. But honestly,
Oh, well, that caught me out massively. That caught me out. Well, hopefully, look, we'll talk about the failings then very soon. Molly, have we got enough time to play Mystery Mishaps before the break?
No.
What we'll do is we'll take a very quick little break now, and then we'll open up into Mystery Mishaps, and we'll dive deeper into those stories if that's all okay. So stay tuned, keep hold, and we'll see you in just a few moments. Now, it's no secret, when you joined Paragon Sales Solutions, you came from a marketing background, bit of a sales background, but I put you through one of our online sales training courses. Can you remember that?
Absolutely, I do.
Was it good or was it
It
bad?
was bang on my first day, and you know what? As much as I may have detested listening to your voice for all those hours, it equipped me with all the skills that I needed to get started in my sales journey.
Well, first of all, that's rude. But secondly, you are true. And we now have 10 online sales training courses ready for you to learn in your own time. So in my day job, I'm actually a sales trainer by trade, a sales coach, and these courses have been taken on by nearly at 10,000 learners, can you believe? Nearly 10,000 learners from all across the world. And if you want to improve your sales skills, maybe you're attending a business networking event that you feel nervous about, you don't know how to do it. Maybe you've got to do some telemarketing, some telesales. Maybe you need to just up your sales game. Whatever the reason, we've got a sales training course for you. Now, if you do want to sign up to a course, all you've got to do is visit our website. Go to www. Why do I keep saying www? ParagonSalesSolutions.co.uk. Find the little button that says online sales training courses. Enroll there. They're very cost effective. You can do them at home, at the gym, maybe not in the swimming pool because your phone will get wet, but you can do them anywhere. And they've had Sophia's seal of approval.
They are Sophia stamped. Absolutely.
Sophia stamped. Could you believe it? But do go sign up to those, and I look forward to working with you very soon. Hello and welcome back to How I Failed in Business, and we're here with Jack Ferguson, the general manager of Bistro Live Leicester. I don't know why I completely forgot where you were then. We've been talking about it all day. Look, you've shared with us some stories that we want to dive deeper into, but if we may, I won't be able to go to sleep satisfied if I can't play my games, if that's all okay. So I'd like to introduce you to Mystery Mishaps. So Mystery Mishaps is a simple game. Sometimes Sophia finds it too simple and guesses the business within 2 sentences. Was it last time, Molly? I think it was 2 sentences she got it. So I'm going to share with you sort of like a bit of a summary and then 5 clues based around it could be a business, it could be a software, it could be a company, it could be a brand that maybe has gone bust or maybe has made like a massive boo-boo, made a dilemma, whatever it is. You've just got to guess who it is. Cool. Does that all sound fair? Okay, so this is a well-known British cafe chain. It was once a beloved fixture on the high streets across the UK. Founded in the early 20th century, which is the 1900s. Which
can I guess now? Will that ruin the game? No, I'll let you play.
It might ruin the game. I think it's these summaries. Maybe I need to stop doing these summaries. So in 2018, they faced a catastrophic collapse. Shall I give you clue number 1?
Yeah.
I think Sophia's given me that twinkle in her eyes, which means she's already guessed it. And obviously, I think you've got it as well. But clue number 1, the company was founded in 1926 and had over 200 stores in the UK by the 2010s.
Should we guess wrong just to allow him to play his game?
Yeah.
Costa Coffee.
Costa Coffee.
Yeah, Cafe Nero.
Yeah, thanks for humouring me. Any early guesses, Molly?
Starbucks.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I can tell you you're all wrong. Clue number 2 is renowned for its handcrafted cakes and patisseries, offering a taste of European cafe culture. Are you still thinking the same?
Ooh. Am I?
Are you switching your answer?
Oh, hold on.
Well,
hold on.
no, but
I'm between 2, I will say. I am.
The fact that it's based around like a catastrophic failure, I think I know.
This is catastrophic. I didn't realise actually.
No, I think I know exactly what it was.
Okay, I'll give you clue number 3. So in 2018, it was discovered that the company had a significant black hole in its accounts, initially estimated at £20 million.
So I all this time thought Pret a Manger.
Okay.
And I thought that the failure was when they killed someone because of the labelling on their food.
Gosh, yeah.
That was literally where I went straight away.
Yeah. I mean, it could be.
It could be.
They could have done that and had a black hole. We don't know.
That might be why there's a black hole.
We don't know. The accounting irregularities were so severe that the company's finance director was arrested on suspicion of fraud.
Okay.
You see, I think have I stumped you now?
I still have 2 guesses.
2 guesses. Jackie?
No, I'm stumped.
Molly?
I don't know.
No? Okay. The company went into administration, leading to the closure of many outlets and significant job losses.
Okay. Let me paint you a picture. We're in the centre of Leicester.
Yep.
There is the 2 places I'm thinking of almost bang next to each other.
Where?
You know where all the restaurants kind of are?
Yeah.
Got, like Wagamama's and...
Right, okay.
And there's a building across from Wagamama's that was a large cafe.
Oh,
And then there was one next to that, also a cafe.
Were they there? I'll be honest, I can't remember. I can't remember what was there. I remember.
Okay.
Is it the one... I'm trying to think what it's called. I think I know where you mean. Opposite the what's now the cinema.
The cinema, yeah.
And it was like a blue and white logo, and I cannot remember what they're called.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Yeah.
I know who you mean. Okay.
But they're wrong.
They could be right. We don't know.
And then there's another cafe chain that I know also has changed. It's closed. Even.
Cafe Rouge.
Cafe Rouge.
Yeah, Cafe Rouge
because the other one was next
near
to it.
near the High Cross, where you're thinking
Yeah.
near Wagamama's. Yeah. Wasn't the other one Carluccio's?
Carluccio's, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Molly, any thoughts? Any guesses? Where do you normally buy your cheese sandwiches when you're out and about in town?
Depends if she wants ham.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Costa's M&S food now, isn't it?
Is it? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Love
So I thought you'd got this within seconds.
Yeah, no, I was really confident. That's why I didn't guess on the first one.
Okay. So I'm feeling chuffed about myself now. So,
Oh, what is it then?
well, I'm gonna have to push you for a definitive answer. I need a final answer from you all.
Carluccio's.
You're
Molly's-
locking in Carluccio's.
Molly's locking in.
I was leaning towards Carluccio's.
The Carluccio's have... Actually, I'm not going to say that. I don't know if that's still insider information.
No, let us in.
No, I'll say it off
Let us in.
camera.
Who are you thinking?
I'm going to lock in Carluccio's as well.
Okay. What did you say? Sorry, Jack.
Carluccio's.
So we've all gone
We've all locked it in.
Carluccio's.
Gone for it.
He's have
Okay.
his cookbook.
I'm thinking about Patisserie Valerie. Oh, okay.
What?
So
Yeah.
massive. They were a massive company, and I didn't realise half of this happened. So, 2018, Patisserie Valerie collapsed after the discovery of a £94 million accounting fraud, which led to the arrest of its finance director. The scandal resulted in the company going into administration, many of its cafes closing down, hundreds of employees losing their job. I then dug a bit deeper into this because it sounds like so peculiar.
It sounds like there needs to be a Netflix documentary.
There needs to be. Why is there not a Netflix documentary? So, the Serious Fraud Office launched an investigation codenamed Operation Venom into the conduct.
They love their coding. They love it.
Into the conduct. We surely should have gone like Operation Piping Bag or something like. Into the conduct
Operation
of.
Eclair.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? So the investigation into key individuals involved in the company. 4 suspects were charged with conspiracy to inflate cash in the balance sheet and annual reports between 2015 and 2018, providing false documentation to auditors. So there was undisclosed debts, there was overstated cash positions, failure to disclose overdrafts, and they just kind of made everything up. Grant Thornton, please don't come after me, the 6th largest accountancy firm in Britain, also faced fines for its role in signing off the flawed accounts. They found that there was tangible and intangible assets were overstated by 23 million. Cash was overstated, just a shy amount, 54 million. Prepayments and debtors were overstated by 7 million and creditors were understated by 10 million. The whole thing was cooked. Absolute.
Nice.
That's
Cooked
crazy.
to the
I like
books
to
on
see
that.
a cafe getting into like the fraudulent businesses.
Oh,
You know, I
yeah.
like it.
It's like Breaking Bad,
It's
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's always these white collar types. I like that. It's like, oh, we make cakes and we also like hide 55 million in cash.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was insane. Like when I do my research, I didn't realise it was anywhere near as bad as that, and I wasn't expecting half as
It's
bad
made
as
me
that.
realise how many coffee chains have gone under as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you forget, like, and quite recent, 2018, it was just before COVID. To be fair, they could have properly cooked the books if they'd have stayed on for their business grants,
yeah.
furlough, and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else in between if they'd lasted out another year. But look, let's go back to your stories then. So we uncovered your lie earlier on today, which was more of a deviance than anything
was.
else. Now, I do feel a bit fraudulent myself because Jack's already told me the story about the keyboard. He has mentioned that to me before. So that's
Have I?
You have told me that. I'm trying to think why. I'm trying to think when. And I don't know when it was when you kind of messaged about the show and coming on.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
But how did you feel like when you realised did you get that kind of like my stomach sinking?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. And it was so difficult because I couldn't avoid him because I was literally setting the venue up. So like no matter where I was in the room, I could hear him just frothing away. But he was such a nice guy as well. So it was then worse.
Yeah.
Because he was so angry and I'd made such a nice guy so angry. And I felt so guilty. But like, because I had this out of him thinking it was this customer that had done it, I was told by a few people, because I was so guilty, I was chatting to a few people and I was told by a few of them, like, just don't worry. Like, he thinks it's this, like, don't worry. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then I went back out to the restaurant and could just hear him go mad. And I was like, I can't not tell him. So yeah.
Fair play to you for being honest, though. I think it's so easy just to
Yeah, let that one slide away.
let that walk away. And then the other story then, that was another true story. And we see, this one tripped me out because, like Molly said, you gave hardly any details.
Yeah, I realised it's not really much of a story. It's just me being a bit of an idiot.
No, but it happens all the
like it.
time. We all get told to do something by a superior, especially, was this when you were younger, was it?
Yeah. 17, yeah. So
I think, that's perhaps like the most like if you take the bones away from it, the most relatable story of someone being like, "Well, just do this," and you're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
No,
No,
that's actually
none the
not
wiser,
how you
yeah.
do it.
Yeah. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been sent to the shop for some elbow grease or, you know, tartan paint or?
I've definitely been like, had what seemed like clear instructions, and then you've gone to get into it and you've realised actually I haven't been armed with any of the information that I actually need. And then you look the fool when you're like,
Yeah.
yeah,
it happens so much.
We do a thing at work where if it's particularly quiet or we need to kind of do something to entertain ourselves, we'll just get a bit of paper, write L on it for loser, and then give it to staff members. So I'll go up to a staff member, "Oh, will you give this to Fran in the bar?" "Okay, yeah." And they're like, "Oh, for fuck's sake." And then they have to give it, they have to find a way to give it away. So that's always quite fun.
But I love that. I love like little games like that. So when I first started with Fine Food, I was just working in the warehouse. So I'd work nights, pick orders in the warehouse, and I don't know, still to this day, I don't know where it came from. But we found a cuddly toy little rat, and me and Richard, who got me the job, we used to just play games just to keep ourselves occupied of hiding the rat. And it'd go weeks without finding it. And I think once it just went missing for like years. And you'd be like picking an order and you would just see like this little rat's eyes behind a box staring at you. But the important bit of the game was to not tell the other person you'd found it. It was just to then go and move it somewhere else.
Nice.
So you literally at any time, you wouldn't know where it was. You wouldn't know what it was doing. But like little things like that just kept us sane during those long night shifts.
We did, when I was a bit younger, Ronnie, who's now operations director, was my manager at the time, and he did a game of dares, essentially. So every staff member had some sort of dare to do. And I think I probably got the worst one, which was going commando for the whole night.
Oh,
and me being like, I was...
So you went commando?
Yeah.
On a
It was quite nice.
sweaty hospitality shift?
Yeah, it was quite...
Those poor trousers.
Quite airy. But yeah, me being like 18, 19 and full of beans, I was like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Love it.
There's an image for anyone that's looking to use you in the near future. What's like the wildest thing that's ever happened on it? Are you allowed to share?
Well, I'm just trying to think what the wildest would be.
Because you guys are famed for, obviously you've got your rules and so on, but you know, you're famous for allowing people to stand on the chairs, dance on the tables, which I don't know still to this day how you've managed to risk assess and pass through the HSE and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how much the insurance bill is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The wildest story. So I've got two in mind. One of which involves one of my other directors being really not happy with us. So let's go for that one. So this was, at Christmas time, we open up to 5 nights a week. Obviously, it's really busy and the staff work ridiculous hours. So we always have like a blowout party. It's always on the 23rd, which is our like last operational night before Christmas. So we'll stay behind, we'll have a party, we'll do karaoke and games, whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And one year we were there and it was probably about 8 a.m. and we were still going.
Wow.
But we were like just winding up. So we'd got like McDonald's breakfast and we weren't really drinking anymore. And we were winding up and tidying up and stuff. Someone was being sick in the urinal for some reason, not the toilet. And we heard the back door go, and it's quite a loud like bang, and it's quite unique. So we knew it was the back door. So me and Adam were like, everyone's here. Like, who's that? And we were on we've got like a mezzanine. So we were on the mezz, and we walked over to the stairs that lead up to it and kind of peered over the top and saw Mark, one of our directors, walking up the stairs. What is he? He lives in like Castle Donington. What is he doing here on Christmas Eve, 8 a.m? So he'd come in because he was doing some Christmas shopping, and he'd come in to either pick some bags up or collect some bags. And he was fuming. But we were still there at 8 a.m, absolutely fuming. But at the time of him chatting to Adam on the mezz, and he was giving him a fucking bollocking, we were getting this person out of the toilet who was being sick. So we had him in the middle and arm round either side, and we were literally like dragging him, like his feet weren't going. And his like head was down. And as we walked in past Mark, for some reason, he kind of like, head came up and he went, "Oh, hi Mark. Do you want a hash brown?" Mark was just like, no, I'm all right, actually. So, yeah, that was pretty bad. And yeah, we got pretty bollocked for
I
that.
don't know how you do it, because you were like, oh yeah, I've been there. Like,
Yeah.
how did you stay up?
Well, because if you're
It's
on a
just adrenaline.
close,
Is it? Yeah.
if you're on a close, you obviously you have your shift and then you have your hours after that. And it's like, well, we could either blitz the close, or when it's clear that's not going to happen, you're like, let's just take our time with it, have a drink, and then we can make it to when Mackie starts serving breakfast. One person is nominated, go get the food, bring it back, sit down comfy cozy, and then you all go your own way.
Ours used to be Maryland chicken back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Used to
Nice.
send the same guy to Maryland chicken every night.
Yeah.
We were dangerously close to McDonald's, so it was
Yeah,
tricky.
true.
Yeah. We're quite lucky where we are. Well, we can deliver quite a lot of things,
Yeah,
but there's
we
nowhere
can.
really close where it's like
Yeah,
every day we could
No.
pop in. I think that'd be a lot.
A lot.
Although we've got a pizza shop down the road, which we don't
A
really
bakery.
utilise. Yeah, we need to utilise that place a little bit more. You said there was another story as well, I think. Did you?
Yeah, what was the other one? Oh, the other one was involved. It's a similar story, but we just didn't get caught. So it was me, Adam, who's a big part of.
You
my
do know that you're
drunken
naming
stories.
people on a live on a recording here. Like, yes, okay.
I'm not naming his surname, so it's fine. He doesn't work there anymore. So yeah, we got really drunk at work, and there was only 4 of us. There was me, him, and a couple of other people, and we ended up just passing out. So I think I slept on a table in the restaurant. Someone was in the band room on the sofa in there. Someone I think slept in the office. And then similar thing happened. We heard someone come in, and the way our building kind of works is it's especially downstairs. It's basically just one big kind of loop. So you can get downstairs 2 ways, and you can get upstairs 2 ways.
Right.
So we had to sneak out as they
The other
snuck
way.
in.
Yeah.
So that was quite fun. But you can hear like everything. You can hear doors going if the building's quiet.
Yeah.
So we were literally hearing the door going, right, let's go this way.
It is a lovely building,
So,
to be
yeah,
fair.
it is nice.
One thing I've always been gutted that we never got round to doing in the end was when we were going to host the full Monty with you.
Yeah.
Do you remember that a few
Yeah, I
years
do,
ago?
yeah.
Weirdly, I got put in charge of the full Monty. So it was my job to message men and be like, hey, look, do you want to get
wanna get
naked
naked?
for
Yeah.
charity? Luckily, it's a pastime of mine anyway. So it was like a duck out of water. But look, before we start to wrap up and you can kind of give as many call to actions as you can, shall we play our final game of the day?
Mm-hmm.
That way.
I'd like to play with you a game called Jingle Tingle, which is also how I used to invite people to the full Monty. So this game, now, what I like to do is I like to go into the archives and pick out 3 old adverts, jingles. You've got to guess who it was.
Okay.
Now today, I've gone a bit sort of left field on this a little bit. Fortunately, I was struggling to find like really sort of hyper memorable jingles.
Mm-hmm.
So these are still adverts around the 2000s,
Okay.
but more spoken word.
Okay.
And I want to see if you can guess who they are. Molly, you're going to be playing along. Lovely. Whip that microphone up, young lady. Right, you ready for the first one?
Yep.
Okay. Some of these I've had to bleep out the brand name for obvious reasons. Are you ready?
At the river mouth, the bears catch only the tastiest, most tender salmon, which is exactly what we at John...
I know it.
Sophia's got that look in her eye. What are our thoughts? So Sophia's got a solid guess. Molly,
Got an idea.
who do you think
Yeah.
it is?
John West.
John West?
I'm thinking Bird's Eye.
Bird's Eye? John West.
John West is a good shout.
It
yeah.
was John West. I don't know if you remember. It was the advert
It's a bear. And it's like
where there's a
ripping.
bear and they're fighting each other. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
You don't remember that? Yeah.
Oh, no, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
do.
once again, that advert seemed to have a really profound like dominance on my life. I remember being in the playground and like fighting people like with a bear from the John West advert. So that was quite an easy one. Let's see if you get this one. This one is apparently from the late 2000s. So 2006,
Okay.
maybe, potentially. See if you get this one.
Oh, chocolate, naughty. 190 calories actually. Really? Really. But you see now, I don't feel
got
very
it
naughty
again.
at all. So. Better? Much better.
Now, just to describe what happens in that advert, just to maybe give you a bit more concept. So there's 2 two ladies in an office sharing this sweet treat. So I'll give you a little clue there. And because they're not naughty enough, one of them proceeds to flash a worker who then collapses, which I don't think you could do on adverts these days, I don't think. But Sophia's clearly got it again.
I remember this advert again. It's the woman from the IT crowd is one of them, isn't it?
Yeah, how? How do you know that? I mean, she's got quite a memorable voice. What even is her name?
I don't know.
I have no
the woman
idea.
from the IT crowd. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So I think you've got it,
I've
Molly.
got it.
I recognise the ad, but I'm not sure what brand.
See, I thought Maltesers, but the wrapper thing didn't make sense for it to be Maltesers.
No, I think it is. I think it is Maltesers.
It is Maltesers.
Ah,
It
okay.
is.
There we
Yes.
go.
Yeah. So it is Maltesers. The idea being it's not a naughty treat. 'Cause it's only 198 calories, the flash and everything else in between. Now, this one is from 2011. So these are probably the most modern adverts we've had, I think. Once again, not a jingle, but this was a whole campaign across a multitude of products for a brand.
Okay.
Okay.
Tea for my husband. He likes tea. He also likes this one.
Has she got it again?
Straight away.
I don't like tea. I like gin.
Look, she's even mouthing it along. Do you do anything apart from watch adverts?
This is my favourite advert ever.
Why?
I love it. It's so funny.
Jack, do you know what this
No
one is? Molly?
I've heard it, but I don't know what. I think it's a supermarket.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I
supermarket.
don't know what one.
Go on,
It's
Sophia.
Aldi.
Aldi. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. The price.
The price comparison.
Yeah.
And that, I think, if memory serves me right, these were when like Aldi were really coming into their own and really highlighting. And they literally, because like a lot of brands in a lot of supermarkets, they're normally like very, or they used to err on the side of caution, but Aldi we just went like hell for leather and like, look, you can either buy PG tips for £3 or Red Label for £2.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? And there was a whole range of them, wasn't there?
Yeah,
like,
they did a whole load of them, but that one was like the one.
yeah.
See, when I was growing up, it was like you got basically bullied at school for shopping at Aldi
Yeah.
because it was so cheap.
So cheap.
So you got and I can't remember what the brand or the phrase was, but there was a thing on the back of all their products, on their Aldi made products, that kind of gave away that it was from Aldi.
Oh,
So you
okay.
used to have to kind of put your thumb over it,
Yeah.
or
Hide
eat
it away.
whatever. Yeah.
Which is funny
But
because
now it's like it's great.
it's accepted, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really accepted, you know. And I think a lot of the Aldi products are pretty
Yeah.
damn good, to be honest. Well, look, thanks for playing Jingle Tingle. I really appreciate you playing along. Unfortunately, you got 0 right.
No, I got Maltesers.
You got Maltese?
I apologise.
Yeah.
You got 1 out of 3.
Yeah.
Have we got a leaderboard going on for this now, Molly?
So technically today it's one each.
1 all draw, was it? Okay. So we should have probably explained. So this game is guests v Sophia. And
Okay.
so where are we up to in the overall leaderboard? Do we know? Have we started to list that down, or she is counting as we speak?
Guest 8, studio 4. So
Oh, Sophia.
No, I think
It was the
I think
last
that's
episode.
you been.
it was the
letting me
last
down.
episode that we kind of fell
Yeah,
down.
Steph
Sorry,
is
hold
on
on.
it.
Why am I letting us down?
Because it's the studio versus the guest. It's not specifically me.
I'm the one that.
No, it's us.
I'm the quiz master.
It's me and Molly. Molly's
you
letting
two.
me down.
I'm not involved in this. I'm the quiz master. That's
Not for fail or fiction.
okay. Not for fail off. Is that included in the
Yeah.
tally there? Oh, is it?
See?
Oh,
It's a very technical tally.
oh.
Oh no.
yeah.
Well,
On the post-it.
We hobbled it together trying to figure out how we can make it work.
As
Me and
you've
Molly
seen-
like, oh, I can't do the math.
as you've seen in the inner workings of how I failed in business, you'd have seen how professional our studio is and how professional the setup is. And this is just, unfortunately, the one thing that lets us down a little bit. But look, Jay, it's been great to hear about your journey, about your career. Like I said to you off camera, like, you know, I've known you for quite a few years now. And I love seeing your passion for hospitality because it can be draining for some. And I'm sure you do have your days where it's draining, but I've always loved your passion, your enthusiasm, your willingness to get involved. You know, what's next for you? What's next for Bistro?
I mean, for me, I've kind of like I said earlier, like I think my goal is always to progress. But certainly when I came back that second time, my goal was to be a general manager, and I'm there now, and just still loving it. I think the fact that we're only open 2 nights a week probably helps with that kind of passion, because you're not constantly customer faced.
Yeah.
So we have loads of time to plan and to prep. which is kind of it's a double-edged sword, because we have that time to do it, which is great. You don't often get that in hospitality, but at the same time, if things aren't done, it's kind of like, well, you've had the whole week to do it, so why is it not done? So it is it can catch you out sometimes, but yeah, I think it's just keeping going. Obviously we came back from COVID and we've kind of built from there, and I think it's just to kind of keep growing, and just keep pushing.
Amazing. And as advocates for a party night out at Bistro Live, why should people party with you? How can they get in contact with you?
So, like I said, it's everything under one roof. It's nice and easy to plan and organise. I think probably what sets us apart from other venues that are similar, especially at Christmas, is the food, which is all freshly made. It's all freshly cooked.
And can I just say, the food is always incredible.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Like, once again, sorry, I'm interrupting you
Go
and
for
I'm
it.
pitching on your behalf,
That's
but like,
fine.
we've been to enough events, haven't we? Right? Where, look, mass catering is solid. When you're catering for 200, 300 people, it's solid. And trying to appease everyone, trying to keep everything fresh, not sitting under the hot plate for too long, everything. It's a nightmare. But every time we've ever dined with you guys, the food's been great. It's been fresh, well presented as well. So fair kudos to chef. Was it Matt? Matt,
Yep.
did you say?
Yep.
And obviously the full team. So
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
carry on. So,
Yeah, food's great. The team are wicked. We have such a diverse team in terms of like where they're at with life. So like I said, we have people that, because we employ from 16, so we have people at college, we have people that a lot of our team are uni based, but we even have people that have full-time jobs and they just do it as part-time extra. So the team are wicked. We're constantly looking at ways that we can, we have a phrase which is to wow people. So our kind of full phrase is there are 3 kind of types of night people can have. So they can have an ow moment, which is where something's gone wrong. They can have a how night, which is just how they expected it to be. Or we can give them a wow moment, which is something that they didn't expect. We go above and beyond somehow. A good example of that is someone coming on Saturday for his hen do, his stag do.
Yeah.
Which we don't actually take, by the way. It's like a work stag do. And we found out he's a big Arsenal fan. So I spent yesterday, not all of yesterday, because that would have been really unproductive, but a bit of yesterday, making some Arsenal props for him.
Oh, nice.
Photo props. So that was quite fun. So we're constantly looking at ways that we can just kind of elevate someone's night. And the idea is then that they walk out and just go, wow.
Yeah.
For whatever reason that might be.
And I can see that. It's always a nice night out, isn't it? So
How
how
obviously
could,
embarrassed you a little bit.
well, yeah, just
Became divorced for a night.
I loved it. Do you know what? I loved it. So you're doing all your birthday celebrations. You know, Sally's here to celebrate her engagement. You know, Teresa's celebrating her 47th. And we got Rob celebrating his divorce. I was like, oh, okay. Had to get on the chair, wiggle my ass to a crowd of 30 women or whatever. It's nothing I'm not used to. So it was all good fun. But how can people if people want to kind of learn a little bit more, if people want to get in touch, how's best?
So nice and easy, bistrolive.com is our website. You will find my details on like the Meet the Team page. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's probably the best way to find us and to find out what we do.
Amazing stuff. Well, look, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. It's been a pleasure meeting you. We'll make sure we leave all your links in the show notes.
Nice.
All the show notes below. So thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having
What a
me.
great episode.
Perfect.
Do you want to sign off? Because
I
I've
can
done
sign it
both
off.
the sign-ins today, so I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, so as Rob said, we'll have obviously all the ways that you can get in touch with Jack and Bistro Live down in the show notes below. And if you want to get in touch with us to come and be a guest on the show, you can find us across social media at How I Failed in Business, just about everywhere. Or if you want to send us an email, you can contact us at howifailedinbusiness@gmail.com. And if you just want to send in some fun stories anonymously, you can leave them in our DMs and we'll get back to you. And until then, we have our overview episode coming out this Friday, and then we'll have our next guest interview coming out on Tuesday. So we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.